Hello, it's Friday and it's time for your weekly update. Let's start with Apple because over the last couple of days, Apple have announced a number of new devices. The main one that will affect you if you're in the business space will be the new MacBook Air. They've dropped an M4 variation of the device. Actually, quite a dramatic performance increase and battery life expectancy increase. So definitely something to look at if you do buy Apple devices for your business estate. Outside of that, they also announced a new iPad Air, which has essentially an M3 chip. Not much else has changed, but it does maintain the price, which is quite nice. It's not gone up in price. And they also announced the M3 Ultra chip inside of the Mac Studio, which seems a bit strange because obviously we're in the M4 generation, but it does make sense from an architectural point of view because gluing two M4 chips together just isn't possible like it is with the M3 chips. So good to see that Studio device now gets upgraded. I might upgrade mine because new shiny things, why not? In Microsoft news, it's worth noting that Microsoft continue this drive to confuse you with the new Outlook, not new Outlook, Outlook that was Mail on Windows and Outlook for Business. Ultimately, the thing to understand is that Microsoft want you to move to the new Outlook, as it were, and you need to be making sure that as a business you start moving people over to it and start adopting it. There are features that are coming out that only exist inside of new Outlook, especially for Copilot and for interconnected sort of existence between the other 365 applications, and ultimately that's what's getting the development. The legacy applications is only getting security patches. So if you're still using legacy, it's time to start looking at moving over to the new version. If you've got apps that don't work with it or manifest-based apps that have challenges, then it's best to reach out and let's have a conversation about how to work around that, because some of those apps will just never be directly integrated again because the vendors don't want to work to integrate them with the new Outlook. But that's the future, so get used to it, I suppose. It's also interesting to see in the news that the Microsoft and OpenAI seem to be scaling back their investment in data centers and AI sort of systems. They seem to be realizing that they can't just keep chucking money and making bigger and bigger data centers to run this. I think potentially off of a sort of realization that DeepSeek managed to do things in a way that disrupted the market, and maybe they need to be a bit more dynamic. You can't keep expecting bigger and bigger data centers, more and more power, more and more resources. You need to be a bit more dynamic. So we'll see what that does. But that does coincide with 6 months of increase in user base for ChatGPT. And obviously that 6 month increase does include some of the services that tie into it, like Copilot. But generally it's on the rise, as it always has been. The other thing that I wanted to talk about from the Microsoft space was around the configurations. And what I mean by configurations is the bit that makes up the back end of 365. And are you backing it up? Because we are seeing a number of organizations that don't understand that the backup tools you get that will back up Entra or back up the data inside 365 don't back up the configurations. The things that make up your Intune, the things that make up your 365 environment. Now, as people move away from group policy objects across to Intune configurations, they move across from on-premise to being in the cloud. The bits that make up 365 become more critical, and it's really difficult if someone makes a change to find out where that change was made and roll it back, or likewise to be in a position where if something went really wrong that you can recover. So you should be looking at how you back up these configurations and how you make sure that you have a way to go back to them, just like you would do if you were backing up an on-premise Active Directory server. So if you don't have a tool that will do that, and I'm telling you that if you've got a traditional backup tool, you don't have this, you want to reach out and let's have a conversation about some of the tools that do that and will potentially make a massive difference to you. Outside of that, onto Planet News, I suppose, as it were. Yesterday was our education roundtable. So firstly, thank you for everyone who came and participated in that, from panelists through to the guests that attended. It was a really good day. It was much bigger than we've ever done, and it was really successful as far as I'm concerned. So thank you for attending, and thank you to Newbury Racecourse for hosting us. It was a beautiful day, and it was a beautiful venue. It was nothing quite like looking over that green expanse whilst we sat and talked about difficult technical issues. So it was great to meet all of you. And if you did want to follow up on that, you're more than welcome to directly connect to me, and we can have that conversation and we can keep on talking about your technical challenges. We still do have our live hack immersion event on the 3rd of April, get that date right, that'd be good. The seats are filling up fast. You need to use the QR code, which I'll dump somewhere, and you need to book your seat quickly. I don't think we'll be doing another one of these this side of the summer. If we do another one, this is kind of V2, and we might have to come back to it for V3 or V4, but that's likely to be later in the year. So if you want to be understanding what it's like to be in a real hack scenario, then you want to be there. And it's also really cool being in the Curzon Cinema and then the Flight Club. Outside of that wraps up your week. Probably going to be a different update next week because I am actually on holiday, but I'll find a way to make this work. So until then, have a great one and goodbye.